Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Stagecraft this morning. Hope y'all are doing well. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about sketching. So it's going to get a little sketchy around here. Anyway, sorry, little joke for you. That's for free. Anyway, I want to start off by saying that I'm not that great at sketching, although I enjoy it. I have taught myself to enjoy the process of sketching, especially with plays that I like. The purpose of a sketch really is not to create an exact image of what the stage is going to be. The sketch is meant to be fairly quick, fairly simple. Now, of course, some people are much better at sketching than others, but that has more to do with practice than innate talent. So if you're telling yourself, I just can't do this, again, I'm telling you, stop telling yourself that. You got to start with, I can sketch and I will be good at this if I just keep practicing. And so that's what I want you to be working on this week, and I know it's been hard. I have gotten a couple of sketches from you. I've seen one from Kim and Laurel early on, but I want you to keep sketching. I also want to, this is important, I want you to keep sketching as we go through this. Your final project, so we're working on your final project here. Your final project is made of 4 parts. First of all is the play analysis. I've gotten a play analysis from all of you, and that's great. The second part is sketches. So doing sketches, and they can be rough. It's okay if they're rough. I'm not here to judge whether or not you are talented enough for me in sketching. But what I do want is for you to be able to have the ability to see the scene in your mind and at least in a rough way get it on paper with your hands to have the ability to just sketch out something. And all of your sketches need to be included in your final project. From the worst ones, just the very beginning of like, I'm just trying to get something down on paper here. And as you move through this, I want you to practice. Like, make it a discipline. Every day, get out a piece of paper, look at what you've sketched before and think, what do I need to work on here? Maybe it would help you to take little pieces. Like, I want to sketch just a trunk. Like, I want a trunk in this play. I'm going to practice sketching a trunk. Try it from different angles, too. And look up YouTube videos on sketching help. There's so many great videos on drawing and all of that. My basic approach is to draw with your eye. And in this case, with your mind's eye, for your hand to follow your eye. Learning to be able to do that is important. To look at something in your room, say, look at a chair that's in front of you or a desk that's in front of you, and draw what your eye sees, not what your mind knows. I'm going to give you an example here in a minute of what I mean by this. We tend to, as adults, draw what your mind knows rather than what your eye sees. And if we were in class, I would do a little exercise. Actually, I might do that right now. Do I? I don't even have a piece of paper. There you go. Okay, come here, paper. Okay. A lot of times when I ask people to draw a desk, so sometimes I'm in class and I'll say, I want you to draw this desk that you see in front of you. So you're sitting in the classroom, you're looking at the front, and there's a desk in the front. And a lot of times what people draw is what their mind knows to be true. Right? Like this. It's rectangular in shape. Right? But that's not actually what your eye sees. If I asked you to draw the room that you're sitting in, a lot of times it would be very blocky. But in reality, because of the way the human eye works, you're not actually seeing rectangles. It's more like trapezoids, okay? Because of vanishing distance and perspective and the way the human eye works. So what you have to do when you're looking at a desk or a chair or the stage in front of you is realize that your eye sees something different than what your mind knows. A lot of times in class, I'll ask people, especially the class that we used to meet in the CT building or in my office, ask if what you see is the lines in the room, are they parallel? So in the room that I'm in right now, it's basically a square room. If you were going to draw the room, what you see is the lines are all straight, right? But they're not. They're not straight. That's not what your eye sees. Your mind knows that they are. So I'm going to point this up at the ceiling. My mind knows that those two lines of this wall and this wall, that they're parallel. My mind knows it. But my eye does not actually see that. These lines are more trapezoidal in shape. Right? To my eye, this line is actually going this way, and this line is going this way. Right? They're not actually parallel in my eye. Anyway, that's kind of some of the principle of following your eye rather than following your mind. Right? Your mind doesn't actually see what your eye sees. Your eye sees the world, and then your mind interprets it based on what you know to be true. So I have included one of my own sketches here. This is not to outdo you guys, so please don't think that. I get this all the time from my students. They're like, oh, you're just trying to one-up us, and I really am not. And this has taken me really years to get even this good at sketching, and this is not that good. But I have gotten better at trying to get some sense of the shape of a space. And so I'll just point out some of the details that are here. I really liked the idea of the angled door. So I've seen in films, in some TV shows and stuff, an attic door that's like got that angle on it, the angle of the roof, and I always really liked that. And so I was like, I want to build that into the set. And then I really like, so over here you see this little step unit coming up onto a raised platform. I like the open shipladder stairs to come up onto this raised area here. One thing that's important to realize and to note in scene design, so again, if this was a scene design class, we would have gone over this early, but levels, right? So having different levels creates visual interest. Angled lines create visual interest, right? So starting off here with the backdrop, just the line of the roof, getting that attic shape. I noticed in Kim's sketch, she also had kind of a roof line in the background and the round window. I promise, Kimmy, I drew this before I looked at your drawing. This is just kind of what I see. I love the idea of that round attic window. I also kind of drew in as a texture in the background of this wall rather than just a blank wall. You can kind of see the beams, right, of the house, of the frame of the house, going both vertically and horizontally at intervals. And then I also included, to add visual interest, some of the conduit, the wiring, right, that you would see in an attic. I've spent a lot of time in attics, unfortunately. Like here's an electrical, like a box, and kind of conduits going around the room. And then you'll also see in the floor I put air conditioning ducts. I thought it would be neat, just starting to play, if I was sitting in the audience, it'd be neat to like have to watch the actors climb over and around the stuff that's in your way. If you've ever like spent time in an attic, having to climb over things that are in the way and that kind of thing, especially in Texas, air conditioning ducts. I put those in there. And then, of course, is the stuff we need. So trunks and boxes. This play needs, as you all very well pointed out in your play analyses, you need some trunks and boxes and things for actors to go through. And I like to put them around the set, kind of haphazardly, so that they can be climbing, one of them can be going over here, and I put things for them to sit on, like a little stool over here in this corner, and here's a trunk. We've got a trunk over here, these boxes. I put a little old chair in the corner over here that can be moved around. A desk. I like having these golf clubs here. I tried to draw a bicycle. It's not a very good very well drawn bicycle over here, and just stuff around to give some life to this room. And I also, you'll notice, considered how I want the light to look. So I had these two bare hanging, just open bulbs, just bare bulbs hanging above the set, and then I also am picturing light coming through the window. Now in my scene design here, what I'm picturing is that this trunk here on this corner would be the trunk where they find all of their dad's stuff. And what I would love to have, and of course this isn't a lighting design, but a lighting designer could look at this and say, we could do this, is have like a beam of light coming through the window here, and that would be the first thing that the audience sees. So the curtain comes up, and there's just a beam of light coming through the window on this trunk, kind of like this is where the action is going. And then the actors come up in through here, and the lights come on, and they begin, looking through this stuff, and the scene commences in that way. So a couple of things that I've included here is levels, right? So we've got a lower level here, a step unit, and a higher level here. So this lower level continuing all the way around here, so that actors could appear on the floor here on this level, and down around the front here, and up here as well. And that will create the opportunity for some visual interest and levels and stuff. Interesting options for lighting I have built into my set design with these bare bulbs, with the attic window. Opportunities for actors to have some stage business, with the golf clubs and boxes, and there's a bicycle and some places to sit. Trying to think through and really visualize the set as a playground. I mentioned before, like as a kid, going and seeing the set and being excited about all the ways that the actors are going to use this during the play and what's going to happen over here on this. Another experience I had with set design where I was just so excited about what is set design. And we call it a play, right? And I like that term, especially, because I got started in this as a child, and a lot of you did too, I know. But what do you love to do as a kid is play. And I loved thinking about the set as a playground. Think of it as a playground. When you were a kid and you showed up to a park, your parents took you to park, and you got out of the car and you saw the playground, what made you excited? It was the stuff you could play on. What I want you to try to do is think about the play with levels, with things for the actors to interact with in a way that's similar to play. Now, not as a child. I don't want you to put a Timber Town on stage. I loved Timber Towns when I was a kid. That was my favorite thing. I get out of the car, or we go to McDonald's and there's the playscape in there. That was just the best because there's so many levels you can be climbing up on and moving through things, and there's all sorts of doodads and whirligigs to play with. And I want you to think of your set in that way, 3-dimension. Not that what you have done is wrong so far, but what you have done, what I've seen so far in the sketches is very typical. I'm seeing the stage floor and a backdrop with a couple of props around. But what I really want to see is an environment. Like create a playscape, right? A playground for your play. And it can be anything you want. This is just my idea. You can set it up however you want to. I do want to indicate that you're supposed to be designing this for the Howard Payne stage. So there are some limitations in that. But this isn't a real play. We're not actually doing this. So in terms of building construction, like materials, props, furniture pieces, go hog wild. There's no reason not to, right? Imagine that you have all the resources available, and what would you make, right? How interesting could it be? Another suggestion for you would be to do a Google image search. On a Google image search, you could type in interesting attic spaces and just see what you find, or attic set design, right? Theater design attic or something like that. Theater design basement or something. And you could get some images that will really inspire you for the possibilities. What could this look like, right? Now mine's kind of closed in. I have a back wall and a little bit of a sidewall here. I thought about having a sidewall over here. I just hadn't drawn it. Maybe in future sketches I would, flesh that out a little bit more. But you don't necessarily just have to have a back wall with a platform or some platforms in front of it. It could be at an angle. You could have a revolving stage. You could do so many things. It could be slip stages or wagons. It doesn't necessarily have to be realistic, right? You could design the attic space as if this was taking place inside the mind of somebody. Like, what if just in terms of, because you can do whatever you want to, just throwing stuff out there. What if, how would the scene design look different if the style of this play, if the director and you decided, as a scene designer, decided, you know what? This whole play actually takes place within the mind of the father while he's in a coma. And he's imagining this. Like, how would it look different? It would be an interesting take on the play. And it could totally be done, right? Somebody might look at this and be like, that's what's happening in this play. Because the characters are not actually realistic enough. This is a father who doesn't know his children, imagining his children going through his belongings, and then realizing, after all this time, even though he was a terrible father, that he was actually a really loving father. Who knows? Excuse me. Anyway, what I want to do really is encourage you to take risks, to be bold, to see what's possible, to keep drawing. Again, practice every day if you want to, and your sketches are going to be a part of your final project. The final project is your play analysis, already done, your sketches, and your sketches, what I hope is that your sketches will be the fun part of this, the part of this project where you really grow, right? I would love for you to come out of Stagecraft class feeling, like 50%, 75%, 100% more confident of having a piece of paper in front of you and a pencil and drawing something. Take this time, this social distance quarantine time, to get better at drawing. There's no reason not to. You can do it. And explore. Think about the set as a playground, right? What would be interesting to see as far as an environment for the actors to play upon? Okay, that's what I want to say about your sketches. Hopefully that wasn't overwhelming. But I want to see some stuff. I want to see more detail. I want to see more. I want to be excited. When I see your scene design, I want to be like, yeah, I want to watch your play on this. That's what I want. And then from there, we will work on the rest of the project, which is your HPU ground plan and your final ground plan. Okay. For your HPU ground plan, so the next step, you've done the play analysis, you're working on sketches, the next thing is the HPU ground plan. I'm actually going to do something different, I decided. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the HPU ground plan. It's going to be done. But you are going to need to put in all the information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a Microsoft Publisher document, and as far as I know, nobody has said that they don't have Publisher. So I'm gonna move forward with the Publisher document. I'm going to send you the Microsoft Publisher document with the HPU ground plan already made. We looked at it the other day. In fact, I'm just going to open it up here, and we can talk about it. Give me just a second. It went away. Somebody's calling. Who's calling me? Just a second. This is opening. Just ignore that. Okay, window capture.
You have reached my First Baptist Church. Our office is temporarily closed.
Okay.
If you need immediate assistance, please call 1-325-647-8870, and someone will contact you shortly.
Okay. Here we have the HPU ground plan in its full measure. I'm going to go view whole page. Let's pretty much it. Okay, so this is the document that I was showing you on Tuesday. And what I want you to know here is that all the information is over here in this information box. But that is not going to be there. Okay? So all this information will be gone. I'm going to send you, what you're going to see is basically this. Okay, this is what you're going to see, and there'll be no information here. And I will have a list of questions, so you're going to get an email that has this document as an attachment, and in the email it will have questions. Questions like, how wide is the proscenium opening? Okay, and you'll have to figure out, because this is at 1/2 inch scale, if this is at 1/2 inch scale, how wide is a proscenium opening? How you will do this, and of course this Windows capture is not working again. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. 50%. Okay. How you will do this is you will insert a shape. So in my Windows box, I went to Insert Shape Rectangle. And I'm going to draw a rectangle, right? It doesn't matter how deep it is, from edge to edge, like so. Okay? And then I will right-click on it, and it opens up a drop-down menu that you cannot see. And you want to click on Format Auto Shape. And a window comes open here, and I'm going to window capture this real quick so you can see it. Okay, here's the Format Auto Shape window. And in this window, right, there's the line options. This is right, so this is just my measurement box, so don't worry about line weight or anything like that. I want to go over here to size. In size, you'll see that it says 15.985, right? Because I was a little bit off on where I drew it, wasn't being super careful. At 1/2 inch scale, imagine this is 16 inches, okay? 16 inches divided by 2 is, not divided by 2, multiplied by 2. I was like, what am I saying? 16 inches multiplied by 2, 32. So the opening is 32 feet. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to go cancel on here. Let me go back to my window capture for the document. Okay. Now that I did that measurement and found that, I can delete this box. That doesn't need to be there. Okay. I already have written in here that the stage is 2 feet high, so that's not a question I'll ask you. I will ask you, how many feet is it from the back wall, or the cyc, right, the sky drop, the back of the stage to the set line, or the plaster line? Okay, how many feet from the back to the plaster line? Okay, and again, I will go Insert, Shapes, and I'll draw a rectangle, right? And I'm just going to start right here on the plaster line. Try to get it exact this time. And draw it up here back to the back. Oh, make it go all the way to the back wall. Like so. Okay. Right-click, Format Auto Shape. And the window comes up. Again, let me capture that window so you can see it. Phone keeps ringing. I'm at May First Baptist Church in the office, so the phone keeps ringing over here. I apologize. Anyway, Format Auto Shape, and then I have height is the one I want to go with. It says 8.2. I'm going to round that down to 8 feet. 8 times 2, 16 feet. So approximately 16 feet from the back wall to the set line. Okay? 16 feet from the back of the stage to the set line, or the plaster line. So I'm kind of giving the answers away here on some of these things. But, window capture. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to get rid of that. Just a second. Who is calling the church? All right. Anyway, that is what we have. That's what I'm going to do with this. If you have questions, please call me, contact me. I don't even mind doing a Zoom or FaceTime thing with you to try to figure this out. So just to walk through this one more time with you, today I'm going to send you an email, all of you. You're going to get an email from me. It will have in the attachments the Microsoft Publisher document that is the HPU ground plan. In the email, there will be several questions. It will say how wide is a proscenium opening, how many feet from the wall to the door, or how wide is the stage right door. It'll just have some questions about the size so that I will know you know how to read this document, right? Anyway, I'll have some questions in it. And that will be how we do the HPU ground plan. Because you're not going to be able to go to the theater and take measurements yourself from the real theater, I want you to be able to take measurements from the drawing of the real theater. And that will help you get better and develop your skill at reading drawings for the stage. When we move into the last part of the project, which is where you make your ground plan onto this stage, we'll work on that. You will use the document that I've sent you, and you will save a different copy of it. So when you get this HPU ground plan, you want to save it onto your computer so you have that. Then what you can do, what we'll do, and I'll walk you through that in some future videos, is to start putting your set design as a ground plan into that set and how to do it. Okay? Thank you all so much. Please, I know this is kind of strange to have to be doing this in this way and a little bit difficult with the way this window capture thing is working. But please call me, text me, send me an email. We'll figure out a way to get it so that you're able to do this. I don't want you to languish in confusion. Please reach out and let me know what you need from me so that you can get what you need to out of this class and be able to do this project well. All right, I'm signing off for now. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.